You're doing push-ups, maybe even every day, but your chest still isn't growing. Sound familiar? It's not that push-ups don't work, it's that something's holding your progress back. You're putting in the effort, but not seeing the results where it matters most. In this video, you'll learn the 5 most common mistakes that stop push-ups from building real chest size, and exactly how to fix each one. Let's unlock the gains you've been missing.
Number 5. Your elbows are flaring out. If your elbows are flying out to the sides like you're trying to take off, congratulations! You're not training your chest. You're stress testing your shoulders and probably booking a future appointment with a physical therapist. Look, I get it. It feels like a wider elbow angle gives you more power. But the truth is, flaring your elbows out beyond 70 degrees puts unnecessary torque on the shoulder joint and pulls tension away from your pecs. Let's break it down. The pec major, that big slab of muscle you're trying to grow, is best activated when your arms move in a slight arc inward, not outward. When your elbows flare wide, you're asking your anterior delts to take over. So instead of pushing from your chest, you're just grinding out reps using your shoulders and wondering why your chest still looks like a blank canvas. The fix? Tuck those elbows in, not glued to your sides like a triceps push-up, but around a 45-degree angle. Think of forming an arrow shape with your body when viewed from above, not a capital T. This angle keeps the tension where it belongs, across the chest fibers, not your joints. And here's the kicker, when you start doing it right, you'll immediately feel the difference. That deep squeeze across your pecs, that's what a push-up is supposed to feel like. If you've never felt it before, congrats! Your real push-up journey starts now. Now, I know some of you are gonna say, but I've been doing push-ups this way forever. Yeah, and that's why you've been forever stuck. Stop thinking experience equals efficiency. If your form's been trash for 3 years, it doesn't magically make you advanced. It just means you've been reinforcing bad habits longer than most. Want a quick test to see if your form's garbage? Record yourself. If your elbows are at 90 degrees or wider and your head's diving before your chest even lowers, we've got work to do. Fix the angle, slow the rep, and feel your chest doing the work. And let me throw some salt in the wound. Elbow flare isn't just a chest killer, it's a shoulder time bomb. Over time, those misaligned reps stack up micro trauma that leads to chronic pain. So yeah, fix your elbow angle if you want pecs, and if you also want your shoulders to still function when you're 40. Add a slight external rotation in your hands, just a bit of outward angle with your fingers, and you'll naturally cue a better elbow path. It's not just about pushing hard, it's about pushing smart. Look, if you're flaring those elbows, you're not training chest, you're just collecting reps and joint stress. Clean it up, dial it in, and stop letting your push-ups be shoulder presses in disguise.
Number 4. You're not controlling the eccentric phase. Let's talk about the most disrespected part of a push-up. The eccentric phase. That's the lowering portion, the part where your body descends toward the floor. And you're probably free-falling like a sack of laundry. No control, no tension, no results. Look, anyone can push themselves up. That's the easy part. The real gains, they live in the descent. Slowing down that eccentric phase builds time under tension. And time under tension is where muscle actually grows. But if you're just crashing down and bouncing off the floor like a bad trampoline, you're not training, you're just rehearsing gravity. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine taking 2 to 3 full seconds to lower yourself, keeping your core tight, chest leading, elbows at that perfect 45-degree angle. Every inch of that descent is creating micro damage in your pec fibers. And guess what? That's the damage your body repairs, and in doing so, adds size. Now here's the punchline. Most of you aren't doing this because it's uncomfortable. Slowing down makes the rep harder. It burns more. It humbles you. Suddenly, those 20 push-ups turn into 8, maybe 6 clean ones. But that's where the magic happens. Not in the rep count, but in the quality. And let's address the myth right now. Fast reps don't mean progress. They mean ego. If you're racing through push-ups to get them over with, you're skipping the very part that stimulates growth. You're giving your muscles zero reason to adapt. It's like telling your body, hey, no need to change. I've got this covered. Want to really up the ante? Try this. Pause at the bottom for 1 full second before pushing back up. Feel that stretch in your chest? That's tension. That's work. That's results in the making. And if you're already nodding like, yeah, I know this, great. Then why aren't you doing it? Why are you still dropping into each rep like you're diving into a beanbag? Because knowing and doing are not the same. Control the descent, or stop wondering why your chest looks the same year after year. Eccentric control isn't just about aesthetics either. It trains your mind-muscle connection. It builds joint integrity. It improves overall performance because slowing down builds awareness, and awareness builds mastery. You're enjoying the video? Comment where you're watching from. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button. Want a video on a specific topic? Leave a $10 super thanks in the comment box, and I'll create a sponsored video just for you. And shout out your name here.
Number 3, your hands are in the wrong position. Let's settle this once and for all. Hand placement during push-ups isn't some minor detail. It's the difference between building a powerful, defined chest or wasting your time training everything but your chest. And guess what? If your hands are way too wide or tucked in like you're doing diamond push-ups on every rep, you're already off track. Most people screw up hand position because they assume wider means more chest. Spoiler, it doesn't. Going ultra wide actually limits your range of motion, reduces pec engagement, and dumps tension into your shoulders. Congrats, you're training like a YouTube thumbnail, not someone chasing real results. On the flip side, if your hands are too close, now you're in triceps dominant territory. Sure, you'll get a pump, but it won't be in your chest. You'll end up building horseshoe triceps and wondering why your pecs are still on vacation. So what's the sweet spot? Place your hands just slightly wider than shoulder width, not flared out like airplane wings, just a natural, strong position. Fingers angled out slightly, about 10 to 15 degrees. This setup does 2 things: maximizes chest fiber recruitment and protects your wrists and elbows. That small adjustment in wrist angle actually cues your elbows to follow the right path, keeping you in that golden 45-degree range we talked about earlier. It's like a domino effect. Fix the hands, and the rest of your form starts falling into place. Another underrated tip: screw your hands into the floor. Not literally, obviously, unless you hate your joints, but apply torque, like you're trying to twist your palms outward slightly. This engages your lats and stabilizes your shoulders, turning a basic push-up into a full-body tension exercise. More tension equals more growth. Let me drop a truth bomb over here. If you've been doing push-ups the same way since middle school gym class, you're overdue for a form check. Just because it feels natural doesn't mean it's optimal. If your chest isn't lighting up mid-set, your hands are lying to you. This isn't about overcomplicating the simple move. It's about precision. And calisthenics, precision is power. 1 inch too wide, 1 inch too narrow, it all adds up rep after rep, week after week. That's how imbalances form. That's how injuries happen. And yeah, that's how your chest stays underwhelming. So the next time you drop down for a set, check your setup first. Don't just mindlessly place your hands where they've always been. Adjust, feel, experiment. Your goal is maximum chest activation, not just going through the motions. If your hands are in the wrong place, your results will be too. Nail the placement, dial in the angle, and let your chest finally take center stage.
Number 2, you're not training close to failure. All right, let's get brutally honest. If your last rep looks as clean as your first, you're not training hard enough. You're not training chest, you're training your ego. And your ego doesn't build muscle. Push-ups, like any other resistance movement, follow the same rule. No stimulus, no growth. And the number one way to stimulate your chest to grow? Train close to failure. Not until it's a little hard, not until you're kinda tired, close to failure. That means the last few reps should look ugly, not unsafe, but gritty. Slower tempo, shaky arms, face getting dangerously close to the floor, core shaking like a leaf. That's where change happens. That's where your body gets the signal, hey, we better grow or this guy's gonna break us. The problem? Most people quit when it gets uncomfortable. They stop at 10 reps just because it's a round number. You think your chest cares about math? It responds to effort, not your favorite counting pattern. Here's a reality check. If you're doing bodyweight push-ups and stop well before your muscles are screaming, you're leaving growth on the table. Especially since bodyweight work typically uses higher rep ranges, training to failure becomes even more important. Let's talk science for a second. Muscle fibers, especially the fast twitch ones responsible for size and power, only kick in when your body is under serious fatigue. That doesn't happen at rep 5. That happens when you're grinding through rep 18, gasping, trembling, but still pushing. Want to test it? Next time you drop down, don't count. Just go until you physically can't do another rep with good form. I'm willing to bet you've got 6 to 8 more in the tank than you thought. Multiply that missed opportunity over weeks, months. Yeah, that's your missing progress right there. Now for those saying, but I don't want to overtrain, please. Unless you're doing 500 reps a day, eating like a rabbit, and sleeping 4 hours a night, you're not even in the neighborhood of overtraining. What you're doing is understimulating. The good news? You don't need to fail every set. You just need to consistently challenge your limits. On your final set, or at least 1 or 2 sets per session, take it there. Make those reps count. That's how you force adaptation. That's how you force growth. One more thing. Chasing failure doesn't mean sacrificing form. When your reps start getting sloppy, that's your red flag. Push as close to failure as you can while maintaining control. The burn is your friend, the shake is your progress.
Number 1, you're not progressing the movement. Here's the harsh truth no one wants to admit. If you're still doing the same basic push-up variation you started with months ago, your chest stopped caring weeks ago. Muscles need progressive overload. No, not just more reps, more challenge, more intensity, more demand. And if you're not evolving the movement, your chest has no reason to grow. Let me guess, you've been doing 3 sets of 20 regular push-ups since the pandemic started. At first it felt hard, but now it's cruise control. You could do them half asleep, scrolling your phone. And that's exactly why your gains hit a wall. If your body adapts to a stimulus, it needs a new one to keep adapting. That's where progression comes in. And no, you don't need fancy equipment, just strategy. Start with tempo, slow the reps down. Try a 3-second descent, pause at the bottom, and explode up. That alone will wake your chest up like it owes you money. Still too easy? Elevate your feet. Now you're shifting more load onto your upper chest, making the movement harder without adding weight. Want even more challenge? Increase range of motion by using parallettes, books, or push-up handles to lower deeper than floor level. That extra stretch at the bottom, it's a growth trigger most people ignore because, well, it sucks, and because it works. You can also manipulate volume and rest time. Try EMOM sets, ladders, supersets, or add a weighting vest if you're ready to go full savage mode. Anything that forces your body to say, whoa, this is new, will reignite growth. Progressive overload isn't just a gym rat concept. It's a universal muscle law. You apply it with barbells, dumbbells, and yes, with body weight. You just have to stop settling.
Because if your push-up sessions look identical every week, you're not training, you're maintaining. Here's a dirty little secret. Most people don't want to progress. They want comfort. They want to feel like they're working without actually pushing the limits. But you're here because you're tired of that. You want visible change, and visible change demands visible effort. Think of progressions like video game levels. You don't just stay on level 1 forever because it's safe. You level up. You unlock new abilities. Feet elevated push-ups, archer push-ups, pseudo-planche push-ups. Each one hits your chest differently and forces adaptation. Want a video on a specific topic? Leave a $10 super thanks in the comment box and I'll create a sponsored video just for you and shout out your name here. You liked the video? Leave your comment and hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.